Hi, good morning. Welcome to Hikate's Crossing. Welcome if this is your first time. Welcome back if you've been before. Some of you may know me as Paula, which is quite cool. So anyway, what I wanted to do was catch up on some VRs. And the first one I'm going to catch up on is How I Tarot. That hashtag from the 3 Fat Readers. If you haven't seen them, I'll put the link below anyway to the original video. There's a few people who have done this VR, so make sure you do put in the hashtag How I Tarot. So this is a questionnaire with the 3 of those from Dani Mystic, Dustin from Metaphysical, I've just gone blank, Metaphysical Man, and then we've got Lisa from Supportive Tarot with her 4 questions as well, and then there was a bonus one as well. So let us begin. What sparked your interest in tarot? Well, I had begun looking into my own faith, my own spirituality, and discovered a book by Anne Mora called Green Witchcraft, and reading the book my life suddenly made sense with who I was as an individual. This was a very quiet journey. I travelled on my own. I explored. I discovered a magazine from Australia called Witchcraft, which I ordered a few times a year, well, which came in a few times a year. Suddenly it was brought into New Zealand, and I was purchasing that magazine, so that was really cool. Sort of taught me a lot. I also explored witchcraft in many ways, and one of the ways that Anne Mora talked about was using tarot cards. So I explored and purchased a few different tarot decks and tried a few different things, and so nothing really sort of made sense until I happened to pick up Native American Tarot by Magda Gonzalez. Now, I have shown that on one of my other videos, my first tarot, but let me grab it very quickly for you to have a look at. So I had I had this one that was like way before, and things disappeared, and I had to repurchase the deck. So this is the US Games. This is the new, more recent one, so the cardstock's a bit different. So it's not like the original, and it's much smaller as well than the original. So anyway, this is the deck. Just to show you, this was my very first tarot deck, and once I picked this up, tarot made sense to me. And it was actually my friend's copy that I actually picked up. She grabbed it very quickly back off her and says, now go buy your own. So I did. And I've actually used this, used Native American Tarot for about 20 odd years. And I have used it at expos and fairs and reading, reading for others as well as reading for myself. So this is like one of my all-time favourite tarot decks. I like exploring the legends, the stories, the teachings, the history behind the artwork as well. This is the back of the deck. You can see. And it has a lot about the different rituals, which are really, really interesting. A lot of ceremonies. Like this one's the giveaway dance. So it really gets you to like the Trail of Tears, the difficult times that they had. It's a Strength card. So it really does teach you a lot. Grandmother Spider. Harvest. So anyway, I'm not going to go through the whole deck, but that's to show you. That was sort of what really sort of sparked my interest in tarot, was the fact that I'd been reading Anne Mora's book, had explored witchcraft, and one of the things she mentioned was tarot. And so I explored a few different decks, but ended up with that one. That was the main one for me. Do you only use tarot in your readings, or do add in other forms of divination? Okay, well, I read tarot, oracle, Lenormand, started looking at Sibylla, Kipper. I use dice in some way, have looked into tea leaf readings, started doing the Lotteria cards, so lots of different forms of runes, all sorts. I've done spirit stones, I've done animal spirit connections, done all sorts. I've done scrying, all sorts of different forms of divination in my readings, so all sorts. Are you a psychic or a card reader? I'm a bit of both. I think it's very important that you have a basic understanding of tarot. I think that's very, very important to have an understanding of the tarot keywords and start exploring other avenues of the cards, what the images, what the artists have described about the cards. All those sort of things are really important to your reading overall. And then I find, for me personally, and I know everyone's different, I'll find that the tarot cards, when I'm actually working with a client, I will find that other things may come through, so clairsentient, clairvoyance, clairaudient, claircognizant, clairscent or clairaroma, clairgustant. It's like that whole taste and smell stuff will come through as well. Feelings, you know, what's happened, but also too, sometimes, not always, if it's really important to the client that I'm actually reading for, I will get spirit will come through and show me or tell me things that are very relevant to the client at this time. So what's important for the client, but not always. Only when it's important for the reading will a spirit come through, and it's a very high vibration. It's quite a high vibration spirit that's come through, so it's usually one that, because of the guide that I work with, she won't allow anything to come through that's not of a positive energy or positive vibe. It's just the protection and things that I've worked with. So yes, am I psychic? Am I a card reader? I do combine both areas within my readings. Do you use tarot for anything other than readings? Yep, they're always on my altar or my reading space for reflection and shadow work. I will do spell work with the tarot cards and things, healing with some of the energy work as well. So all sorts of things. I haven't really done any art or anything as such, but I have been thinking about all the little extra cards that we get with the tarot deck. Sometimes you get some extra cards. I'd like to sort of do something with them at some stage, but not yet. If you could live, have you ever taken a break from tarot? If yes, why? Yeah, I took a little bit of a break, and that was personal. I owned a business for a few years, and I discovered there was a bit of a burnout. I was working 7 days a week, basically, so I was just getting very, very tired, and I just needed to take a full break. I do try and take regular small breaks sometimes over the weekends and things like that, or maybe if I'm feeling a bit if I can feel myself starting to be a bit run down, I'll just disconnect completely from tarot and just sit and watch a few movies and just chill a little bit for a couple of days, just to recharge. And I think that's really important, because sometimes if we're doing readings for a lot of people, or we're doing lots of things in regards to tarot, we can be giving out a lot of energy, and so it's important to sort of take some time out to rejuvenate and take care of self. I think it's really important. So, if you could live in any tarot card from the Rider-Waite-Smith, if you could live in any tarot card from the Rider-Waite-Smith, which would it be? If you could live in any tarot card from the Rider-Waite-Smith, which would it be? I don't really use Rider-Waite-Smith cards. So if you could live in any tarot card from the Rider-Waite-Smith, which would it be? So, which would it be, Rider-Waite-Smith? I think the Ten of Cups. Let me have a look. I don't really use. I've only got the Universal Weight. So I've only got this one here. So let me show you. Where is it? I think there's a couple I think that I might sort of reflect on. Definitely Cups, I think. Just trying to see. Just find this card, don't like that one. So the Universal Weight's the only tarot I got, so I think for me, I don't want to be in any battles. Quite like the Star card. Yeah, I think for me, personally, if I was going to live in a card or live in a space in the Rider-Waite-Smith card, I think for me, yeah, I think for me, I quite like the 6. Oh God, can you see that? I quite like the 6 of Cups in this deck. And the Star card. Oh God. No. I wonder if I can just move it. Whoops. The Star card. So I think it's a real toss-up between the 6 of Cups and the Star, if I look at the Universal Weight and cards that I'd like to be. The reason why I quite like the 6 of Cups is because it's this sort of romantic, sort of lovely staircase. There's lots of flowers around. It just seems really peaceful, very nostalgic. You know, it just seems really a really good card. And the Star I think I quite like because it's just at night time, lots of stars going, the water. Just another one that seems really peaceful, very hopeful. So those are the 2 cards, definitely. Do you use the tarot in a predictive way? Do you predict the future? What happens is when I'm doing a reading, and depending on what the client sort of asked and what spread I've used or what's going on, there does seem to be a predictive nature in the way I read and what may happen depending on circumstances, what choices the client makes. There's a lot to it. I have had clients come back to me and go, oh my God, you know, you said so and so and what's this and that, and oh my God, this is exactly what happened because of choices I made, or oh my God, I just prevented this from happening because of your warning, or you know what I mean. So there is a sort of predictive nature, but yet we know that things can be changed because of a client's choices or whatever happens around them at the time. So yeah, I do use tarot in a predictive way, but it can be like forewarned is forearmed, you know what I mean? So anyway, intuitive Rote, classic, modern, or mix? A mix. Definitely a mix. I mean, I do look at some of the classic meanings. I do use my intuitive. Yeah, I think there's a real mix in the way that I use tarot. What are your most consistent tarot habits? Pulling a card for myself, doing a spread for myself, doing readings for Instagram or Twitter, reading for clients, doing my YouTube videos, they're all tarot practices, doing my VRs. I try and be as consistent as I can within my own personal practice. I think that's and in lots of different ways. I think as long as I'm working with tarot in some way most of the time, whether that's study or whether it's, you know, learning more, reading more books, practicing reading, looking at the cards and writing up my own thoughts, creating my own decks, exploring the way that I've created a tarot deck before and just getting into a bit more. I think that's just being consistent and doing something with tarot. Okay, do you see tarot as a magical tool, a spiritual tool, or a psychological self-help tool, or something else, or all of the above? I think I see it in many aspects. It can be used for creating magic, can be a very spiritual path working tool. It can be very good for psychological self-help in many ways. So I feel like it's a tool that can be used in many different ways, and I use it in different ways as well, depending on how I'm feeling and what's going on. Do you collect tarot decks? Why or why not? I do collect tarot decks, but I'm very discerning about the tarot decks I'm collecting for myself. I think for me, I have a tarot deck collection, but it's all tarot decks that I would normally use in some way for some reason. So for me, collecting tarot deck is when we actually gather decks, whether they're for spiritual practice, actual just collection to look at, or because they're out of print, or, you know, we all have collections for different reasons. For me, it's about collecting decks that I know that I'll actually use. And so my tarot deck is expanding in lots of ways. Do you have an aesthetic when it comes to the types of decks you enjoy? If so, what is it? For me, I've got such a different variety of tarot decks with different themes, different styles. I think it's just what I find appealing. There is, it changes all the time with different moods, different things that I use. I think tarot for me aesthetically varies. I don't think I have any particular style of deck. I do like colour with tarot. I do like to work with colour. I do like to use artwork that's maybe thought-provoking, a bit different. If you look at the Starman Tarot or Muriel, you know, or even some of the Epic Tarot, you know, when it's got a bit of mystical and fantasy within it. I think my decks vary. It just totally depends on the mood. I don't think I have any particular style. I don't seem to go for any gore, you know, I don't go for any sort of a lot of gory or vampire-y or dark type of decks. I certainly don't have any indie decks as such, because of being in New Zealand. Our price, by the time I got them here, most of the decks would be close to $150, $200, and I just don't have that sort of finances to have that sort of money to buy a deck in that sort of way. But yet saying that, if I found a deck that absolutely spoke volumes to me and I just felt that I had to have, I think I would spend a little bit of extra money in buying a deck if I found something that actually was like, oh my god, I've got to have it, it's, you know, it's something that I'm going to work with, it's going to be something that I'm going to really enjoy, I'm really going to, you know, really get hold of it, I think I would spend that sort of money on one deck that I really wanted, but I haven't actually found anything that really speaks that super volume to me in regards to that sort of an indie deck. Okay, so do you personify your decks? No, I don't. I'm not really somebody who I really just call a deck by the style it is, you know, or the name of the brand or the name of the deck it is. You know, for me, Universal Rider-Waite is Universal Rider-Waite. Starman Tarot, I don't, or Muriel's Muriel, you know, I don't really personify the decks. So that's it. That's how I tarot. That's the VR from the 3 Fat Readers. So Dani, Dustin and Lisa. Don't forget, I will put the link below for you to have a look at the original, and I know that lots of people have done this tag, so don't forget to put in the hashtag how I tarot, and I'm sure it will come up with a load of different videos to watch. Anyway, I know I'm a bit late in doing that. I've got a few more VRs that I need to get on and do, so take care, blessed be, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.